Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adults who are healing CPTSD. My name is Athena, and we have been gathering here about once a week for about 10 years now. This is a place where we check in with one another regarding our healing journey, and we are so glad that you've chosen to be here. If this is your first time here with us, thank you so much for clicking on this video. And if you've been coming here and spending time with us for 10 years, a warm welcome back. And anything in between, we warmly welcome you here to our community. Our theme this week is welcoming presence, specifically welcoming the presence of others we find safe or safe enough. So our journal prompt this week: what does welcoming presence look like for you? Or what does welcoming the presence of safe enough others look like for you? Again, a warm welcome to you. I'm so glad you're here. So what we've been doing over the last couple years, we have been doing some breath work together once a week. We have our meditation written by Morgan Harper Nichols. Her artwork is what you see up on the screen. We have our compassionate healing strategy written by Dr. Ariel Schwartz and taken from her book titled A Practical Guide to Complex PTSD: Compassionate Strategies to Begin Healing Childhood Trauma. And then we have our Loving the Self affirmation written by Lisa A. Romano. And we usually start everything off with a quote from Young Pueblo and his most recent book titled The Way Forward. So again, my name's Athena. I'll be facilitating our time together. As a warm thank you, filled with gratitude, with my hand on my heart, this YouTube channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research, also known as CPTSD They have a private community away from social media. Been doing that for about 10 years now, and reaching adult survivors of repeated relational trauma, adult survivors of childhood trauma, childhood dysfunction, neglect, abuse. It's a beautiful, beautiful community. There's a place where everyone can gather together, kind of like how we have here in the chat box. But we also have other things like daily encouraging texts, daily recovery support calls, which are live calls just like this, twice a day, every day, Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, there's different types of self-care, like trauma-informed yoga, healing book club, fiction book club, and weekly creative group. And there's also a trauma-informed partner support program for partners and supporters of complex trauma survivors. So thank you to CPTSD Foundation, the entire team. Thank you to each of you. I want to pause and say hello to those who are here for our time together before we get started today. Hello, a very warm welcome to you, Jeffrey Sherman. I'm waving back to you. And to you, Kate and Craig. I'm sending back hearts and hugs. Hello to you, Emily and Joe, John Harvey, Mandy J and Little J, AJ. Is there anyone I left out? I'm so grateful that you're all here. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I appreciate you so much. Hello to you, Dolly. Thank you so much for being with us again. I'm really grateful to be here with all of you. So, before we get started, I just want you to know that if for any reason we get cut short today, it is only because the maintenance workers show up here at my apartment earlier than expected. I woke up this morning and everything was flooded from the apartment above me. It was leaking down through the roof. So that was a huge shock for me to wake up to. So today's been a little bit discombobulated with workers and commercial fans that are, trying to dry out the walls and all of that. So if for any reason we do get cut short today, I just want you to know that I'll be back here next Monday and every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Or I can also see you over at CPTSD Foundation in our communities or our different programs that we offer. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you there as well. A warm welcome to you, Jane. We are so glad to meet you. Jane is new here today and says hi to everyone. Aww. We are so glad that you found us, Jane. So we're going to get started here and do some breath work together. We're going to be doing the bottom-up approach of the breath work this time, like we did last week. And that is where we focus on a body-centric approach for our breath work. There is a nerve located, if you reach back to the back of your neck and you feel right towards the base of your neck where your neck meets your spine, there are vertebrae 2, 3, and 4, or 3, 4, and 5, I can't remember which, and there's a nerve that goes all the way down to your diaphragm. And so when we do this breath work together, chances are you'll feel the urge to yawn a few times. And that means we're activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So let us get started with our breath work. I want to invite you to get very, very comfortable. Please only participate in what feels helpful and supportive for you. If breath work isn't really your jam and you would prefer to do something completely different, then just skip it. No need to ever participate in anything that doesn't feel helpful and supportive for you. Take the best, leave the rest. Okay? So, can be sitting up or lying down. The invitation is to just be as comfortable as you possibly can. You can have your eyes open or closed. Take your hands and just stretch them out in front of you, spreading your fingers wide, remembering to breathe. Wiggle your fingers and twist your wrists up and down, out and in. Lifting our hands up above our shoulders, allowing our neck to drop back and look up as far as we can look to the ceiling or the sky, lifting our arms up as high as feels comfortable to you. You can also rest your hands on your shoulders if lifting your arms up above your head doesn't feel comfortable. Allow your chin to come down, remembering to breathe. Bring your chin back up and to the left, taking your hands and putting them all the way out as far as they can spread. Left hand all the way to the left, right hand all the way to the right. Lift them just above your shoulders and spread your fingers, turning your head as far to the left as you can possibly look, trying to look behind you toward the left. Glancing straight forward, arms still out, wiggling your hands and fingers, remembering to breathe. Look all the way to the right, as far as you can look to the right, as though you're trying to look behind you, over your right shoulder, leaning your neck as far back as it will go, and looking as high up into the sky as you can possibly look, spreading your arms out wide, remembering to breathe and to wiggle your fingers, and look as far back as you can possibly look while looking up, trying to see behind you as though you could see behind you by looking up. Bringing your head all the way back to a forward upright position. Allowing your arms to come back down into a natural place by your side. Unclenching the hands, relaxing the hands, remembering to breathe, getting our chin and placing our chin as close to our chest as possible, and back up. And now your body is fully relaxed and natural. Well done. Excellent breath work today, everyone. How did that feel? I got multiple yawns. It's pretty interesting, the nerve that runs from vertebrae 3 all the way down to the diaphragm. Hello, Midnight Blue. So great to see you. Midnight Blue says that was hypnotic. Kate got a yawn. Joe got loads of yawns. I got a whole bunch of yawns as well. Emily says the reminders to breathe were helpful. I'm so glad. Yeah, sometimes if we're trying to do any type of guided breath work or anything, we forget to breathe, right? We don't even mean to. We're just so focused on trying to do it right that we might forget to breathe. Well done, everyone. Emily says, oh goodness, I'm yawning now that we're talking about it. Oh, and I get some chocolate cake. Thank you so much, John Harvey. You know, that is exactly what I need after the day that I've had, waking up to everything being flooded. Luckily, it wasn't my whole apartment. It was only the bathroom area that was flooded. But I don't know if you've ever had a bathroom flood before from up above you. It's not a pleasant experience. Yeah, it was a little stressful. So this breath work is exactly what the doctor ordered. Yeah, me too, Kate. Kate says, I tend to hold my breath and clench my jaw. Same here. And Midnight Blue is nodding along with all of us. I clench my hands as well. Anyone else? Ooh, Dolly had chocolate cake today, and Midnight Blue baked chocolate chip cookies today. Oh my goodness. You all are, it was just, oh. Oh, Dolly says it wasn't chocolate cake though. That's okay. Cake is cake is cake. Well done, everyone. I'm so excited for our quote this week from young Pueblo. It's all about healing. He's reminding us, this is on page 92 of his most recent book, The Way Forward. And he says, if you want to heal and release the past, you must deeply embrace how you feel in the present. It's right along with our theme this week of welcoming presence. I love just learning more about being in the present moment and how beneficial it is for us to be in the present and welcoming presence. Now, our journal prompt this week, what does welcoming presence look like for you? And I'm taking it a little bit further than that. Morgan Harper Nichols is talking in her meditation about welcoming the presence of others, safe enough others, right? Those we feel safe enough with. So what does welcoming the presence of safe people look like for you? I would love to know. For me, welcoming the presence of safe enough others looks like me allowing myself to receive warmth and compassion from others who are intentional about being compassionate, kind, warm, non-judgmental, fully acknowledging my lived experience and my autonomy, the sovereignty of my being, that I am my own person, me allowing myself to welcome the validation from others who are intentional about being a thoughtful presence in my life. And also me pausing and being intentional about allowing myself to experience a felt sense of empathy in community with others, particularly those of us who are on a similar healing journey, the healing path. I gotta tell you, every single time I get an opportunity to spend time with one of you, two of you, 5 of you, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100 of you, every single time I am in your presence. Oh, my hand just automatically moved up to my heart when I said that. My heart is filled up with gratitude for this community. Each time I've had an opportunity to connect with you, you are willing and intentional about compassionately witnessing one another and me, and you are fully acknowledging of the lived experience that has brought us here today. And you are so validating of that lived experience and the feelings that come up surrounding that lived experience. And when I am with you, there is a felt sense of empathy. And that doesn't happen on accident. That happens intentionally. So with my hand on my heart, thank you. That is what welcoming presence and the presence of others, that's what that looks like for me. How about you? I would love to hear what welcoming presence looks like for you. You can think about it. No pressure if it doesn't feel safe sharing. But please feel free to put it in the chat box or in a comment if you're watching this on a replay. Yes. Emily says intentional. Oh, thank you, Midnight Blue. I'm sending you back emojis, heart emojis. Kate says, I feel that also, Athena. I'm so glad. I'm sending you back hearts, Joe. John Harvey says, the community and others like this one have helped me so much. I couldn't heal without you guys. Thank you so much, John Harvey. And thank you for helping to keep the chat box a safe space for this community. Thank you for everything you do. We appreciate you so, 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 so much. And we're grateful for you. Kate says, I know everyone here can relate to some part of me. Yeah, absolutely we can. We absolutely can. Thank you for your presence. That is what welcoming presence looks like for me. So I'm going to share our meditation written by Morgan Harper Nichols. And she is reminding us this week that learning to welcome presence is courageous. And she says, one of the things that can really stir up anxiousness within, is the feeling of being stuck, feeling as though we are not going to be able to get out of a place anytime soon. So when we're trying to keep our head above water and balance so many different things at once, and we start to wonder if we're going to reach the shore, we may start to ask ourselves, when will this ever end? When will I ever get out of this place? Why can't I get past this? And you see, we as human beings, we love stories. And we don't just want to know how the story starts, but we want to know how it ends. And there's a reason why. There's a reason why in a movie theater we stay to the end of the movie. And even though we've paid to be there, we don't typically want to move until the credits start rolling. And this is true for movies that we might not even like very much. Because the truth is, there's something inside of each of us that says, I need to know how this ends. I need to know where this story goes. This stirring inside of us is what fuels so much of the hopeful imagination that we see in the world. This is the lining of visions that have changed the world, where people wanted to imagine a better future and imagine a better ending to the story. And at the same time, when it comes to our own stories, we forget that we are in the story. We forget that the characters don't know how it's going to end. And we are that character. Every day we are working in and out of different plot points, and we don't ultimately know how it's all going to come together. It's hard to let go and allow the story to flow because of that stirring that asked the question, how does this end? I cannot tell you how your story ends. I don't know who you will meet or where you will go or what you will learn on your journey. But I do know that more connections are being made than we are able to see right now. I do know that even though your daily tasks and responsibilities may seem loose and disconnected from one another, and all the things that you're having to manage emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of it, it may seem fragmented and separate from one another. Even then, beyond what you can see, you are a part of a bigger story. You are a character who cannot see what's on the other end of that character arc. But nonetheless, there is still an arc. There are subplots that fold in and out of other subplots. There are places where a problem begins and places where the problem is solved. There are moments of increased awareness, moments of overcoming, experimenting, consequences, change, and overcoming. And perhaps the hardest part of this is that you don't always know where you are. And even in times of our life when we feel like we have a really good idea where we are in the story, we can quickly be surprised by an unexpected outcome. A beginning may lead to a quick ending. A moment of committing to try something new suddenly comes with consequences that we could never have imagined. We enter deeper waters, and this can be very discouraging. The shoreline, it seems farther and farther away. And once again, we're asking the question, how does the story end? When does the arc bend towards something good, something sustainable, a place where I can take a deep breath? And that is where the grace comes in. We start to realize that we can breathe on the journey. we start to realize that even though we are still at sea, we can lift our heads above the water and we can take that exhale. It's not the same exhale that you take when you arrive to the shore. And it's not the same exhale that comes when you've reached the end of the journey. But at the same time, it's a necessary, deep breath that reminds you your story is not over yet. Yes, it is hard to be out here in the middle of a sea that you do not know, where you don't know what's coming next. And at the same time, there's movement. There's movement in the water. There's movement in your body. And you're also not alone out here. You are not the only person swimming in this sea. And the people that you're surrounded with, all of us, our subplots are overlapping with yours. Our moments of increased awareness can collide with your moments of increased awareness. And then you start to realize maybe we can all heal together. Maybe we can continue to move forward through the story, even though none of us know how this is going to end. So let us stay in the theater until the credits roll. In fact, let's stay till the end of the credits because there might be something more there too. Let us sign up for the whole journey, and may we never give up halfway through. We are each holding the tension of a lot of things right now because the story is still being written. Your story is still being written. We are still in the middle of it all. And what matters is that we continue to remember we are not in the middle alone. And may we use our words, our art, our actions, our love, our healing to continue to remind one another of this on a daily basis. This story is not over. I love Morgan. She's amazing. How did that land for you? Thank you, John Harvey. Morgan is brilliant. Absolutely, yes. I'm so grateful. Our story is not over yet. So we are going to move to our compassionate healing strategy written by Dr. Ariel Schwartz. Dr. Ariel is inviting us this week to embrace our emotions. Now, a gentle reminder for these emotions that we are embracing, some of them are big and they feel uncomfortable. Emotions like anger and fear and shame and sadness. It's important for us to remember that when we are present with our emotions, when we are compassionately witnessing them as they are making themselves known in the body, and we are fully acknowledging them and holding them in gentle care and validating them, This is when we are healing at the deepest level. It can be so tempting for us to want to shove them away and numb them and stuff them and avoid them. But all that does is prolong our journey. Dr. Ariel says, often the depressive presentation of CPTSD arises because we have suppressed some difficult emotions. So this healing strategy of embracing our emotions is divided into two parts. And we're going to focus on recognizing and expressing our emotions. So the first part involves recognizing feelings when they arise in the body. And this is especially important if our emotions were ever dismissed or disregarded in our childhood. And even more especially if as a result of our emotions being disregarded, that we feel numb or cut off from our emotions. Somatic psychology teaches us that we can learn to recognize emotions by focusing on body sensations. For example, we might notice that we feel a tightness in our chest when we are angry, or a lump in our throat when we feel sad, or a feeling of contracting inward during times of shame. This may require a regular practice of checking in with our body before we start to make the connections between the sensations we are feeling and our emotions. In addition to building our own somatic or body awareness, it is valuable to have another person or a group of others like this to participate in this step with us. This other person or people, they can perhaps recognize as we describe what's going on for us in the body. Perhaps they can recognize or identify or relate to what it is that we are feeling. We can explore our emotional self-awareness by bringing to mind an event, perhaps an event that was difficult for us, something recent. Notice any changes in your bodily sensations. What do you imagine you were feeling during that difficult event? See if you can draw a connection between areas of tension in the body regarding the event and your emotions about that event. Suppressing our emotions can worsen the depressive presentation of CPTSD. So this next part of our healing strategy involves giving space to listen to and honor and express our feelings. So let's take a closer look at how this might show up with some common emotions. So some common emotions, anger. So as we discussed, the depressive presentation of CPTSD is often anger turned inward. So the benefit of feeling and expressing our anger is that this emotion can give us the energy we need to free ourselves from depressive symptoms. So when sensing anger, we might notice a feeling of tightness in the chest and arms. Or we may feel a surge of energy in the belly or the legs. So embracing anger is a healthy thing as long as we are able to express our anger in a healthy way. So when we embrace our anger in a healthy way, this might look like giving voice to the previously unexpressed feelings of betrayal or hurt or rage that we may have never expressed before. And then suddenly, we might have the energy that we've been looking for to start exercising, which can further boost our mood. Or we can direct our anger into the completion of a project, which in turn increases our self-esteem. And anger is also one of those emotions that redirects our energy toward self-protection. And this can help us define our boundaries and communicate our needs assertively. So now, let's think about this. How about you? What can we express? What is something that is frustrating or anger-inducing for us? Perhaps that energy that we have can be put into a project, or to go for a walk, or to we can participate in something like artwork or the completion of a project. What boundary do we need to set? What area of self-protection or boundaries do we need to communicate? Who do we need to speak with regarding our needs? How can we communicate these things assertively? I want to wholeheartedly and lovingly encourage you to find ways to advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself. You deserve safety and healing. And if we are unable to do those things right now in this moment, perhaps reach our arms up as high as we can reach them and stretch as far out as we can stretch. If you're lying down, perhaps contemplate sitting up. If you're sitting up, contemplate standing up. And maybe move your limbs in a way that can release that energy. Well done. Just want to check in with you. Before we do our affirmation, let me just... Hello, Ninja Taco. So good to see you. Ninja Taco says, oh, I'm not in a supportive headspace, but I hope y'all are having a healing chat. That's okay, Ninja Taco. That's okay. We're so glad for your presence. No need to do anything. We're always so glad to see you. Lots of highs and hellos. Jeffrey Sherman's offering you safe hugs. Midnight Blue is sending you emojis. John Harvey is saying hello. Jeffrey Sherman says, I hope you find contentment, sending love. And sending you a hug as well. Yeah. Oh, Craig says I'm in bad shape. Only since I feel, sense. Oh, I'm sending you so much love, Craig. Sending you comfort. Sending you a hug. Kate says, oh, I want to run right this second. I want to click off and run away. You are warmly welcomed to run, Kate. You do what feels safest for you and best for you. So grateful we got to spend time together today. Offering compassion to anyone who is struggling right now. Just want to fully acknowledge what a big deal it is to be here and to show up for you in the ways that you do. Any feelings you have that are coming up around anything, your feelings are valid. Lisa says, in the past, I used to pretend I was happy even when I wasn't, because I was afraid what others might think of me. But today, I realize how unhappy living a lie was making me on the inside. Today, I will practice owning my truth, in spite of my unhealthy preoccupation about appearing less than perfect to others. I know now that accepting myself is where my healing must begin. And in time, self-acceptance will give way to the glory of self-love. Yes. My hand on my heart, so grateful we got to be here together today. Whatever it is that you are going through, wherever you are in your story, please just know that you're not alone. And I'm so glad that you're here. So very grateful. So I will be back here with you next Monday and every Monday. And between now and then, I will be over in our community. There's a link in the chat box if you'd like to join us. Also in the description section of the video. And I hope that you will, between now and the next time I get to connect with you, I hope you'll be extra kind and extra patient and extra gentle with yourself, because you're worth it. And I'll see you soon. I'm sending you so much love. Bye, everybody.